Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video I'd like to talk to you about the newly updated unemployment figures and the effects that they're having on every American throughout the country. Now before I jump in, I'd like to ask you to please like the video, be sure you subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could potentially benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased on owner operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. So thank you guys for the likes. Those are greatly appreciated. Please do keep them coming. They help very much to get these videos in front of more and more folks. And let's jump into the video. You know, it's no secret that unemployment has been a big issue throughout the country. Folks are really struggling to make ends meet. Unemployment applications have really surged recently, and they're currently at the highest level since September. That's not a very good picture. And, you know, continuing claims, which is basically, basically folks who've applied for the first time for unemployment, those claims are nearly 6 million applicants. Then we have a second category of folks who are considered the extended benefits, which is folks who've already had their unemployment, they run out, and they still haven't been able to get back to work, find another job, or for whatever reason are unable to get back to their regular employment. And those numbers are over 4.5 million applicants. Then we have a third category of folks, which are your self-employed folks and gig workers. So self-employed would be like, a lot of the truck drivers that are out there, 1099 workers, et cetera. And of course, we have your gig workers, which is, Uber, Lyft drivers. You have your Grubhub, you have your DoorDash guys. You get the idea. Those guys are the gig workers. They're, kind of working here and there, doing the best they can. Those guys have really struggled because not a lot of folks are spending money on, food deliveries and things like that. And so they're also applying for pandemic unemployment assistance. Those numbers have hit 8.5 million. In fact, over 8.5 million of such folks have applied for unemployment. And this number is actually more than triple the pre-pandemic numbers that we saw prior to the onset of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. And restaurants, in-person businesses have really, the restrictions that are being placed on them have really slowed the progress of recovery. Unfortunately, certain states have put in some really strict restrictions out there, and it's really making it difficult because a lot of these folks, these restaurants, for example, or nail salons, or the in-person types of businesses, barbers, salons, they're unable to even work at a reduced capacity, which is very difficult on business owners because you just can't continue having your business open without having any customers come in, even at a very limited basis. So that's been really tough. And worse yet, as a slap in the face, November hiring was at the weakest in the last 5 months. So things are not looking good, unfortunately. And here's another thing. Employment is forecasted to decline, and as we progress throughout the year. And unfortunately, the sad picture here is that Americans are, could potentially start the new year on a very sad note with lapsed unemployment, with the moratoriums over, with with eviction protections over, and things could really hit them like a ton of bricks. So that's not painting a very good picture. Hopefully things start to improve soon. In total, we have more than 19 million Americans who are unemployed and claiming unemployment as of November 21st, which is the latest one the numbers have come in. And we have states like California, Illinois, and Texas who had the largest increases in unemployment claims, with California leading the bunch, where their claims have jumped a whole 36% because of the new COVID restrictions that they put into place, especially for those in-person businesses as well as restaurants. I'm sure you've heard about this kind of stuff that's been going on in the state of California. So unfortunately, things are not looking good. This is going to affect everybody, and unfortunately, it's not going to make it for a very Merry Christmas after all. So, hopefully things start to improve, and keep on trucking. I think the trucking industry right now is a good time to be a truck driver out there because the markets have been paying well, as you'll see in a second portion of this video. If you haven't liked this video yet, please do hit the like button. That helps us a lot. And then hang on for a moment. I'm going to switch over to camera. We're going to look over the loads we booked for our customers, and I'll see you in just a moment. All right, welcome back, guys. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Another great week to be a truck driver in America. Lots of freight to look through. Some really good loads. Starting off with some reefer freight coming out of Columbia, Missouri, going to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. It's a reefer load, frozen food, 40,000 pounds, running at -10 degrees. 987 miles, booked at $3,770, which got $382 per mile. Then out of Aspers, Pennsylvania, going to Chesterfield, Michigan, 40,000-pound load of general product. It was a dry load running in its reefer. 501 miles, booked at $1,500, which got them $299 per mile. Then right out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, going to Racine, Wisconsin. This was a load of actually water-based adhesives. It was a light load of 20,000 pounds. And it was basically the load was protect from freeze. So that was not too bad. 229 miles, booked at $800. This was $349 per mile. Excellent rate. And then they took a load out of Aurora, Illinois, going to Perrysburg, Ohio. This was a Walgreens product, 7,000 pounds. Very light load, running at 30 degrees. 273 miles, booked at $1,800, which got them $659 per mile. And finally, they took a load out of Tiffin, Ohio, going to Pocomoke City, Maryland. I'm sure I butchered that one. But nevertheless, it was a light load at 8,000 pounds of frozen food running at -10 degrees. 588 miles, booked at $2,500, which got him $4.25. Excellent week for this driver. Ran from Thursday to Thursday. Ended up grossing an amazing $10,370 for the week. And got 2,578 miles on the clock at an average of 402 per mile. Absolutely amazing week for a reefer. Great job to the dispatchers. Great job to the driver for making those deliveries. Excellent job. Excellent job. Next, we have some dry van freight coming out of, looks like Hoopeston, Illinois, going to Lyons, New York. It was 41.1 on the weight. It was caps or tops. I'm assuming just, for bottle caps and things like that. 654 miles, booked at $3,000, which is $459 per mile. This is a dry van. And then took a load out of Rochester, New York, going to Kenosha, Wisconsin. That's 25,000-pound load of printed materials. And that's 667 miles, booked at $1,500. And that got him $2.25. Then a load out of Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, going to Sterling, Illinois. 38,600 pounds of groceries, 152 miles, $950 booked, which got him $625 per mile. All in all, these guys ran, only basically took 3 loads and went back home. So real quick, Illinois-based carrier, grossed $5,450. Got an average of $370 per mile loaded. And with Deadhead, he was at $320 per mile. Ended up doing 1,473 miles in total with 229 miles of Deadhead, and still ended up making some really, really good money in a short period of time. Next, we have some reefer freight coming out of Franklin, Indiana, going to Memphis, Tennessee. 40,000-pound load of frozen food running at -10 degrees. 475 miles, booked at $2,000. That's $421 per mile. Then Jonesboro, Arkansas, going to Appleton, Wisconsin. This was a frozen load, -10 degrees of frozen groceries, 25,000-pound load, so quite light. And this one was 684 miles, booked at $2,000 again. That's $292 per mile. Then out of Green Bay, Wisconsin, they went out to Circleville, Ohio. 39,000-pound load of paper products, another dry load. 579 miles, booked at $2,000. $345 per mile. Then they took a load out of Baltimore, Ohio, to Crestwood, Illinois. This was one pick, one drop, 5 pallets of frozen waffles, a very light load of 2,000 pounds, or more or less, on the weight. 377 miles, booked at $1,000, which is $265 per mile. Then they took a load out of Joliet, Illinois, going to, looks like it was a two dropper, St. Louis, Missouri, and Kansas City, Missouri, and it was a load of beer. And this wasn't too heavy for a beer. Usually that's filled up to the brim. This one was running at 39,000 pounds, 50 degrees on the reefer. It was a 2-day load, ideal for recap hours to drive about 250 miles a day. The load was 507 miles, so excellent run for recaps, and that's what they did. $2,400 booked on that one, which got them an amazing rate of 473 to run and make $2,400 on recaps. Won't say no to that. Finally, this guy took, looks like Edgerton, Kansas, going to Rockport, Missouri. It was a one pick, one dropper, dry load of seeds, 41,000 pounds. Short and straight through load to kind of get him closer to the house. And we'll do his reset at the house. Finished off his week. It was 147 miles, booked at $600, which got him 408 per mile. And this worked out well. Thursday to Thursday, ran on recaps, ended up grossing $10,000. on the dot, got 2,789 miles booked at an average of $359 per loaded mile and $330 per mile with deadhead included. And he only had 245 miles of deadhead, and like I said, made 10,000 bucks on this reefer. Excellent, excellent money. And love the way that they work those recaps. I mean, that's fantastic money when you know how to use them. Definitely, if you don't know about recaps or how to use them, definitely educate yourself on that. It could really make you a lot of money. Next, we got some dry van freight coming out of Sumner, Washington, going to Great Falls, Montana. 43,000 pound load of grocery supplies. The driver was in Washington, so he picked up the load on Friday and then went home, did his 34-hour reset on this one, and then Monday delivered in Montana. I mean, does it get any better than that? 649 miles, booked at 3,600 bucks, got his reset in, and that's $555 per mile on this one. Then he took a load out of Three Forks, Montana, and went to Collierville, Tennessee. The 42,000 pound load of chalk in bags, and it was palletized. Long run at 1,669 miles, but he had the hours to do it. Booked at 4,300 bucks. That's $258 per mile. And then basically that was it for the week. He ran Friday to Friday, ended up grossing $7,900, which got him $341 per loaded mile on his 2,318 miles. Then with deadhead, he hit $318 per mile in total. And it only had 165 miles of deadhead. So an excellent week for dry van, where he got to do a loaded, put the freight in his trailer, did his 34-hour reset, that he took it at home, ended up getting paid really good money, and ended up still getting his miles and dollar amounts. Another van did just as well, with a little bit of a different approach. Grand Rapids, Michigan to Davenport, Iowa. This was a 40,000 pound load of pennies on bags. 328 miles, and booked a 1,300 bucks, which is $396 per mile. Short run there. Took another short run out of Rockford, Illinois, going to Kentwood, looks like Michigan. This was a food load at only 20,000 pounds. This is a dry van. 263 miles, booked at 1,200 bucks, which got him $456 per mile. So excellent. Didn't do very many miles, only 591 miles. Ended up grossing 2,500 bucks. And an average of $423 per mile. And this is a Grand Rapids based dry van, only available for 2 days this week, and obviously did very well. 2 days, 2,500 miles, and just under 600 miles ran with an excellent average. Definitely good money there. Then we have a van team running out of Denison, Texas, going to Mukilteo, Washington. Oh man, Washington with your city names. Killing me here. 15,000 pound load of freight of all kind. This was a 2,098 miles that they ran at 4,200 bucks in this team dry van. That's $2 a mile flat. Then they took a load out of Des Moines, Washington, going to Shelton, Connecticut. That's 25,000 pound load of apparel, 2,905 miles, which they booked at 8,000 bucks on one load. That's $275 per mile for a dry van. Then they took a load out of Irvington, New Jersey, going to Jeffersonville, Indiana, 44,000 pound load of steering mixes, and that's 729 miles, booked at 1,500 bucks, which got them 206 per mile. These guys did an excellent job. Friday to Friday, ended up grossing 13.7 on the dollars. That's $240 a mile. And they ran 5,732 miles. A very nice week for this team. Maybe not the best average per mile, but definitely a very good gross, and definitely ended the week in a very good market. Being a dry van in Indiana, and especially Jeffersonville, excellent area, they're going to definitely do very well starting next week's videos, which I'm sure we'll see more of them there. Next, we'll have another dry van. This is a solo coming out of Aurora, Colorado, going to Billings, Montana. 17,000 pound load of mail. Those of you who know, that Colorado is not the easiest to get out of. And this was 566 miles, booked at $3,000, which got them $530 per mile. Then they took a load out of Worland, Wyoming, and went to Kansas City, Missouri. It was a light load, 6,000 pounds of packaging materials, 930 miles, booked at 2,200 bucks, which got them $237 per mile. And a final with Kansas City, Kansas, picking up and going to Longmont, Colorado, with 3 drops on that one, all in Longmont. So bam, bam, bam. And this one was good. It was 42,000 pounds of dry goods, 628 miles in total. They booked that one at 2,700 bucks. and that's $4.30 per mile. All in all, these guys ran from Sunday to Friday for 5 days. They drove, grossed $7,900, averaged $3.73 per mile, and ran 2,117 miles on the clock. You know, excellent gross, really good for average for a dry van, $3.73 per mile in some of the tougher areas to be running. Truck started in Colorado and then back after a week, so that worked out very, very well. And I believe this, I might be wrong, but I think this carrier is Colorado based, so that worked out really well. Leave Colorado, come back to Colorado, go home, and have a good week. Anyway, guys, if you're not making money like this, definitely get in touch with us. As you can see, vans, reefers, we're taking care of them. We got 10,000 and more per week for guys who are not really killing themselves. They're not putting on 3,000, 4,000 miles a week, and you know, doing very, very well for themselves. So if you're not making this kind of money and you have your own MC authority, we'd love to talk to you. If you're an owner operator, maybe you're paying too much, maybe you're not seeing this kind of money, we'd love to help you get leased on with us. You can get more information by calling or texting our number at 801-448-6363. You can go to our website at aftdispatch.com and click any of the learn more buttons, fill out the forms, and get some more information about our services. We'll get back to you. There's also going to be a little chat box that you'll see in every one of our pages on our website. They'll ask you a few questions. It'll take your information down. Expect a call back within that day or the next day, unless it's the weekend. And you know, other than that, you know, I hope you're doing well, and happy holidays coming up. We'll have some more videos out for you guys. And until next week, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care, guys.